Right guys, well welcome back to Syndicate Diaries. We're fairly chucking them out now, aren't we? But yeah, no, it's Friday now, finished work a couple of hours ago. We've even managed to have the old haircut, so yeah, first one since sort of lockdown. I won't say it's over, but since it's been restricted anyway, the easement of the restriction anyway. And yeah, here we are, we're back at the lake, so we managed to have a cheeky chippy.
Tea, Diet Coke and chips.
And then we've got down to the lake, and based on first arrival, there's fish absolutely everywhere, and when I mean everywhere, we've seen probably 13, I think we counted before. They're absolutely everywhere, not even in one spot, they're just absolutely everywhere. So yeah, we're feeling confident. So what we're going to do, and there's even some fish now, look. So yeah, they're absolutely everywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the house up and then we'll have a chat later on. Alright guys, so camp set up now. Just yet to get the rods out. Got the old aquatum rods and the new sleeves. And made a bit of kit by the way then. I've not stopped fishing since I bought them. Just a bit of an update, so I'm in swim 3, which I've only ever fished once before and I've blanked in, but there's so many fish in front of me. And what I'm doing as well this session is I've actually brought a spod rod, because normally on small intimate water like this I don't actually tend to spod, but I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. So what I'm probably going to do is show you the spots later, but we'll run through all the tactics and everything. But yeah, just while camp set up, just thought I'd show you some fish. On top over there. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to get the rods out and then we'll have a chat later. So finally got the rods out now, and we'll get onto the tactics and rigs and things in a minute, because I'm doing things slightly differently this session. But I think for me the first thing that we need to come to is this is actually the first session now since the sort of the easing of the lockdown. So obviously with everything that's going on and now the social distancing getting less, just generally sort of coming to the end of it, I guess. The Syndicate's now sort of taken away all the temporary rules of 24 hours and only being able to draw and all the rest of it. So yeah, this is the first session now. We've actually managed to get onto the main lake on the ticket, and yeah, it's nice to be back, to be honest. I've definitely enjoyed my sort of 3 or 4 sessions that I've had on the smaller lake. It's been much more difficult than first anticipated, I must admit. You know, I didn't think it was going to be a runs walk, but I certainly didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was. But no, it's nice to be back on this bigger lake, and to be fair, from what I've learned, there's quite a few fish been coming out as well. You know, listening to what's been going on and everything, that, you know, I've kept my toes in the water, if you like, and basically, you know, a lot of people have been putting quite a bit of bait in, so something that I've not really done on this lake. So for this session, which ties in quite nicely with the rod, so basically I'm fishing swim 3. So obviously for the very first session that I ever did on here, I fished swim 3, and I blanked. But basically I just thought I'd change the tactic really. I'm going to fish in 3, and then my dad's just behind me in 2. And yeah, basically, for this session, I've got quite a nice bit of water in front of me. There's 2 jetties to my left and a really nice sort of overhang, which is like a no fishing bank as well. So for me, the fish have got to be patrolling that margin, you know. So I've targeted my left hand side rod onto there, so I've cast to the far jetty. Just again, not too much bait, sort of coinciding to what, you know, I said a minute ago about putting the bait in. That one's still sort of what I know, with not a lot of bait, so 2 handfuls at the absolute most. And then the middle rod is cast smack bang in the middle of water, because as we arrived early, it's probably about, I don't know, 9 o'clock, half 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. And as we arrived at about 6 o'clock this evening, the fish were absolutely everywhere and showing themselves and giving themselves up. And they weren't in a particular pattern or anything, but yeah, there was quite a few fish that were milling around sort of in that spot. So basically I've put quite a big bed of bait in there. So I've brought the spod rod with me, and I've spodded out at sort of, I think it's about 13 wraps. So it's not far out by any means. Literally smack in the middle of the lake where they were showing, and hopefully we can pick a fish up off a bigger bed of bait, which, you know, what I've been told anyway, that's what I've been doing the damage. And then finally, sort of the right rod, you know, I didn't film it because I usually sort of get the casting out shots on a Saturday. but I think for the rest of the weekend at least I'll probably not get it as good as what I've just done. So I've waded out to a bush to my left hand side, and basically where the island is, I've tried to go just past the island. For me, I think not a lot of people do that, and I try and be different than the norm, because, you know, turning up and doing what everybody else does, you kind of expect the same results. So, you know, I do listen, but I also like to implement a little bit myself. So I am fishing to the island, but I like, you know, I've just gone just past it, and when I say I clipped the branches, I literally clipped the branches, and it went down with a proper donk as well. So, you know, the confidence is really high on that rod. So yeah, I'm you know, quite happy that we've managed to get 48 hours on the bigger lake again. And yeah, it's just nice to be fishing. So what we'll probably do is probably kick back now for tonight, because it's nice to be on the bank, probably get the kettle on, and yeah, we'll probably have a catch up in the morning.
Tell you what, that's a decent fish, that.
Good morning. So it's probably about, I don't know, 8 o'clock, half 8, something like that. I had my brew, and I thought I'll probably just have a doze off, so I've been awake since 2 o'clock. And yeah, I was just having a siesta at normal sleeping hour, I guess. And yeah, one of the rods has gone into, wasn't a one toner, but it was a good take, and the rod wrapped round, and so I shot out, and then obviously the heavens opened. But it really doesn't matter when you've got a fish like that, because that is a beautiful common. So we've just weighed her at 23 pounds and 13 ounces minus the sling, so it's probably going to go about 20 pound 13, so I'm guessing just shy of about 21 pounds. But yeah, what a welcome return back to the main lake on the Syndicate. So yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon. So yeah, we'll get a few stills, we'll get her back, and catch you later on. Right, well, if effort equals reward, I've definitely won my first year. So it's that lovely £21.13 it was. So yeah, that lovely common this morning was yeah, really nice actually. And yeah, basically you've probably seen me this morning. I've been up all morning, I've been spodding out in the rain. Yeah, and although it wasn't necessarily that rod that actually went, it just still goes to show that by putting in the effort and, you know, sort of crossing all bases with all three rods, it just shows that putting in the effort, there's no substitute really for putting in, you know, a decent amount of effort, ensuring your rigs are right, putting the bait in at the right time of day, things like that. So putting all the small percentages in your favour just show that you get a fish. So what I'm going to do now, I've just had breakfast with my dad. So the celebratory brews and then the celebratory breakfast. Look at that. You look after me, don't you?
Hey.
Look at this.
We're on it.
Proper
We don't
breakfast.
play at it at this level.
Breakfast of champions, isn't it, Dad?
Absolutely.
I'm going to put a little bit more bait out because it's probably about dinner time actually now, to be fair. I'm going to put some more bait out, do a little bit more spodding, top up the other spots, and we'll have a catch up later on. Guys, seriously, where has today gone? Like, honestly, it's mental. I've had a bit of an afternoon siesta and I've woke up and it's nearly 5 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know where I'm up to in regards to updates. I'd say I don't even know what I've told you what's happened. I've no idea, so I'm going to sort of recap and go back to sort of when I woke up this morning. So yet again, I couldn't sleep. Got to about 2 o'clock in the morning and I just stayed awake, played on my phone, did a bit of shopping on eBay, all that. Yeah, I just couldn't get to sleep, so I've just been flicking around, basically watching the water as well. I won't say watch the sun come up, but watch it get light anyway. And yeah, it's nice, but I was feeling quite tired again this morning. But obviously, as you know, that about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we're into action. So yeah, that resulted in a lovely £21 13-ounce common. So yeah, that was lovely, to be fair. And I've also been sort of recently informed that it's actually a new 20-pounder. So basically, that means that I get to name it. So I've actually named it the Mouse Common, basically because my nickname for my little girl is Mouse, so rather than just call it after either my missus or, you know, something that's just a name, I just thought I'd call it the Mouse Common. So there you go, that's the story behind why I've called it that. So shortly after putting that back, I went and had breakfast with my dad. That was probably about, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was like a brunch, to be honest. And then just as we'd finished that, my dad's rod went off. It's nice because it means that he breaks his duck as well, so yeah, no, that's great. And yeah, sort of after that I sort of did a bit of spodding, put a few more bait out. That's probably about 1 o'clock, and yeah, there's no football on today because it's the last day of the Premier League season tomorrow, so everyone's playing tomorrow. But yeah, I was feeling a bit tired, so I thought I'd put the kettle and have a bit of a lie down, and I sort of fell asleep, woke up and it's now 5 o'clock. So yeah, where is the day gone? So no, I just thought I'd sort of give you an update because I'm aware that we've not had an update for, I don't know, a couple of hours now. Didn't know where we're up to, I didn't know where we were up to. I had a really good deep sleep then, to be fair. One of the lads has joined us now, he's over in peg 1, which basically still means that I've got most of this side of the lake to myself as well, which is nice. So nothing's changing, I'm still happy with all 3 spots. So like I said, my left rod's still going over to the jetty on that far side. again, I just think that at some point the fish are going to be up and down that margin, just purely the fact because you know, it's a holding spot, it's a no fishing from that bank, so at some point they have to sort of patrol up and down there. I've not put a lot of bait in again, so I've put a little bit in. And then my middle rod again, I was fishing at 11 wraps out, and I've been chatting with sort of an existing member, and they've kind of said, you know, it's a decent spot to be in, to sort of mid-water. So the 11 wraps isn't in terms of anything that I know, it was literally just that I cast a burr lead out to showing fish yesterday when I arrived, and basically because that's sort of in the vicinity of where they were cruising, it just happened to be about 11 wraps. It's about 10 something, but yeah, 11 wraps. So that's where we are in regards to the middle rod. And then the right rod, I've not actually changed that today, so I've left that out from when I cast it in yesterday. Probably lazy angling on my part, to be perfectly honest, but it's because the cast that I did yesterday was that good and it landed that perfectly that I didn't feel like I needed to reel it in just for today. So I am going to redo it, because obviously it's not gone, so you know, for the purposes of tonight, my last night, I am going to redo that rod. And yeah, hopefully we can get one on there, because you know, that's got to be a spot. Like I was saying, it's like a small, if you envisage a small square, or a small sort of, you know, 2 by 2 metre square, where you know, you just can't really cast to anywhere else. So I think it's a good edge by wading out and trying to get into that spot where they probably feel safe. And there's a fish that rolled there as well today, which is another reason why I didn't bring it in. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. What I'll do is I'll get the rods out now for tonight, get a bit of B-roll, and we'll sort of finish probably by talking tonight, and talk about the future and why this is our last session for a good couple of months. So yeah, without further ado, we will get the rods back on the dance floor, and we will catch you later on. This is the one I'm nervous about. I might look stupid with the GoPro on my head to get a proper POV action shot. Hopefully I can get it out first time. Fingers crossed, guys. Absolute shit. Yes! That is a winner. Right, so I've put my dad's fish back. I just thought I'd finally get around to showing you my new item that I've purchased. Probably what you guys will know is that something that's quite heavily present in all my videos is the importance of coffee. I'm a massive coffee lover now. I wasn't a few years back, but I am now, and every time it's just like, let's get a brew on, let's get a kettle on. So I've treated myself to a new kettle. It's taken a good couple of months to arrive, but no, I'm really happy with it, and I just thought I want to show it off. So yeah, if you don't like it, tough, because I love it and I'm going to show you. So here it is. So basically, obviously it's a Ridge Monkey kettle, but I've got a standard scaly carp on there. I absolutely love it, but where it really comes into its own is, look at that. So this is me at Cassian, Lactacent Cassian, a trip that lives very fond in my memories, sort of back in 2014, and I landed an absolutely incredible £54 mirror. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll put the picture of this as well next to it so you can see. And yeah, it's a memento that will long live with me, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, look at that, and that says Cassian with the date and the £54 4 ounce. And then the other one is the second fish that I caught at Cassian, which still to this day is probably the best looking carp I've ever caught. Again, I'll put this one on. You might have seen it if you've been following the Syndicate Diaries, that in the Mr. and Mrs. edition that we did, we had this carp on there as well. But yeah, that's an absolute mega fish, and to have it etched into my kettle is just absolutely incredible, and I love it. And then the final side is my beloved carp dog. She doesn't really get to come on the Syndicate Diaries too much because my missus, sort of, when I'm away, she likes to have the dog with her for a bit of company, I guess. So unfortunately she doesn't make too many appearances on the Syndicate Diaries, although I would like her to, but unfortunately she has to stay at home. So I've got a name, Lulu, with a date of birth, and then etched into my kettle. So yeah, and then obviously like a nice draw cord handle as well. So yeah, I thought I'd treat myself because, you know, I do love my coffee and I love getting the brew on this channel. So yeah, it's something that I'm mega happy with. I'm really pleased with it. And yeah, just a big shout out to Neen Valley Kettles. So you might have seen him sort of on Instagram and on social media, but I'll put a link up now anyway. And he's the one who did it for me. So super talented guy. I mean, to do that by hand is actually incredible. And when it came through the post, it's just, you know, it's so special now. It means everything to me. So, you know, it's a memory from Cassian that means, you know, it means everything. You know, for the carp angler, you know, the true carpers will know everything about Cassian, and yeah, to catch 2 fish from there in a week's holiday as well, but to be 2 mega fish as well. So yeah, just nice to have it etched onto my kettle. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys because I want to show it off, and I'm dead happy with it. So yeah, big shout out to Ben from Neen Valley Kettles for doing it. Absolutely super talented guy. It's turned out incredible. So yeah, no more chatting, and let's put it to use. Right, well, we're heading into the final night now, and I have to say it's been really nice actually to get 2 nights on the bank rather than the usual sort of 24 hours. I think so far it's been a good session actually. I know I only caught the 1 fish, but I think if I caught 1 fish, you know, every other time maybe without being greedy, that'd be a good return, I think. But no, like I've always said, you know, if you followed the Syndicate Diaries from the very beginning, you'll know that pretty much every fish that I've caught has come from the hours of about, I don't know, 4 AM roughly, through till about 8, 9 AM at the latest. Early morning I always put as bite time, so nothing's happened today in regards to catching. I know that a few fish have come out recently, you know, from other members and stuff at this time of day, but obviously nothing for me. So yeah, I think from my knowledge and from what I've learned so far on this Syndicate sort of diaries is that, you know, the bite time is that time, and that's kind of when I need to get everything set, and that's kind of when I expect to have a bite. So for me, there's no sort of substitute really for making sure that you can sit behind confident rods, because, you know, if you're sitting behind them or, you know, going to sleep on it, you know, those rods could be out for probably 8, 9, probably 10 hours sometimes. So yeah, I think it's important that you have to be sat behind confident rods, and especially as I know that bite time is that time of day, first thing in the morning, that I want everything to be sat proud, just waiting for when that time comes. So I'm absolutely super confident that we'll get one. That's not to say that we will, but I am super confident. Obviously both me and my dad have caught, so you know, whatever happens for me or anything, I'm super happy with. Coming away from the Syndicate Diaries, you know, I kind of alluded to earlier on that this is going to be the last session now for a good couple of months really, because we've got a busy schedule coming up with regards to fishing. So 2020 this year was actually due to be my wedding. Obviously with everything that's gone on and COVID and lockdown and all the rest of it, we've actually postponed the wedding by another 12 months. It's just one of them things. So, you know, it's basically, as a result, we're still going to go and do a week's fishing. So I'm not going to say too much because we're actually going to do a video while we're there. So basically every year we kind of try and get together and do at least one full week session, because it's just nice to get out in it for a week and have a social. And usually we go to France, but obviously with flights and ferries and all the rest of it, they've all been cancelled. So we couldn't do that. So we're actually, you know, we're going somewhere else. Again, I'm not going to say too much, but basically stay tuned. So yeah, that'll be coming shortly. After that, we've got another session booked in on another lake. Again, not going to say too much because, yeah, it's, you know, Matty's, as you know, Matty's sort of dropped his ticket on the Syndicate, and I've not fished with him for a while. And we're kind of at that time of year now where, you know, he's comfortable and things are sort of settling down a little bit in his personal life, so we can actually get out fishing again now. So we're taking a little bit of a back seat from the Syndicate just so we can actually go fishing with Matty again. So like I said, we've got the full week session coming in you know, a couple of weeks, and then we've got another session coming. Again, I'm not going to say too much, but hopefully we're going to do a short piece there as well. And then I'll be home for the grand total of 48 hours, and then I'm booked on for another 3 or 4 nights. So yeah, I'm going to start a film there, but the rain's going to come, so what I'm going to do for the short term is just wrap this up pretty quick, and I'll carry on telling you a bit more in a little bit. I've got quite a lot of fishing coming up that's not on the Syndicate Diaries, but hopefully I'm going to do my best to get sort of a couple of different pieces together, because it's nice as well for you guys just to see different venues and sort of, you know, more specific day tickets that you can kind of relate to as well, because, you know, it's quite hard to sort of follow a syndicate that you don't really have any perspective over, or you've never, you know, set your own eyes on. So yeah, obviously, you know, it's quite exciting, those sort of venues that are coming up I've not really fished before. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. A nice change of scenery as well. So yeah, what I would like to say now is really you know, if you do like the channel and you do like, you know, the content that we provide, if you'd just like to help us grow the channel really, if you could press that subscribe button and then press the little bell as well, because that would give you a notification when we upload new videos. And obviously over the next couple of months we hope to do quite a few videos really. It's exciting times over the next couple of months, and then we'll probably head back to the Syndicate Diaries for another sort of diary piece probably around October time. What I'll probably do now is yeah, go and get comfortable, go and sit out with my dad, put the kettle on, have a brew or two, put the world to rights, and hopefully we will see you probably early hours of the morning. But if not, I just want to say thanks again for watching, because obviously if you get this far, it's really appreciated that you've not tuned out and bored of listening to my droning voice. But no, genuinely just thanks again just for watching it this far, and like I said, just subscribe and hit that bell button to get a notification when we upload new videos, because there are some good stuff coming, touch wood. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me, and I will see you next time.